fact, but yeah, just as soon not be in the dark as it's like. Let me say that you've got a theme running through the scriptures this morning. It may not be apparent, especially with that scene of the crucifixion there. But I want you to notice two things that we see in that crucifixion scene. Number one, Jesus says, "Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing." Now, I know that some of you live under guilt. I know that there are some of you who have things in your life that you think that God could not possibly forgive you for. Or you have things in your life that God has forgiven, but you haven't forgiven yourself. I want you to note that the greatest sin to have ever been committed was the murder of God. If Jesus was God incarnate, then what you have in this scene is the murder of God himself. Yes, Jesus submitted himself to evil, to be killed. And in the midst of that great evil, that great sin, that worst thing that could have been perpetrated to the entire face of the earth, Jesus says, "Father, forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing." If Jesus could pray for forgiveness for the people who did this, how much more will the Father totally forgive you for all of your sins, for all of your shortcomings? Remember that word, y'all know I'm big on Greek because you know, when you look at the New Testament in the original language that it was written, you see things that you can't possibly see in English. The word in Greek that's saved is sozo. You've heard me say this before. Sozo. It's in the perfect tense. It means a past action, which has an effect on the past, it has an effect on the present, and it has an effect on the future. In other words, when Jesus forgives your sins, he's forgiving you your sins of the past, your sins right now, and the sins you will commit in the future if you will simply walk in him. If you will simply receive it, confess your sins, and receive forgiveness from God. The forgiveness is complete. It is absolute, and it is irrevocable. Once God has forgiven something, it's done. Now I want to ask you this question. Who are you to hold sins against yourself if God has forgiven them? Are you greater than God? I don't think so. And we all have things that fall short of the glory of God. All of us. But God's mercy is so big and wide and great, and his love for you so uncompromising. Regardless of what the world says, regardless of what the devil says, God's love for you is uncompromising. It will not change. It will not dim. It will not dull. It will never be any less than what it is. God's love is perfect. And it's a free gift given to you. And his forgiveness is also perfect. Jesus saying, "Forgive them." The other thing I want to point out about that scene is the thief on the cross. Now, in the other Gospels, you don't get this story. You just get that there are two. A lot of the translations say bandits. The word for bandits, bandits is not good. The way we think of bandits as people who steal things. Bandits in first century Palestine were usually out in the countryside, out on the rural roads that people had to travel. And they were vicious, notoriously evil people. They stole, they killed, they raped, they were horrible people. And that's what Jesus was hanging between, two of these guys. And in this account of the crucifixion, you have one bandit that has joined with the leaders of the Jews saying, come on, Jesus, if you're a Messiah, save us, save yourself and save us too. It takes a long time to die on a cross. Jesus had been beaten so badly and had bled out so much, it didn't take him that long. But the others, they would hang there for 2-3 days sometimes. And they're talking to Jesus. One, like everybody else. Come on, Jesus, you're so great, do something. But the other one says, what is the matter with you? We're here dying. Within the next day or two, we will be dead. We know that. There is no restitution for us. And you and I, brother bandit, we deserve exactly what we're getting because we have done the things that we are accused of. And we're getting our just recompense. But this man has done nothing. And he turns to Jesus. And he says, Jesus, he didn't even understand. Do you realize he didn't understand what the kingdom of God was? Not completely. But he decided, he made a decision to trust Jesus. And he said, when you come into your kingdom, whatever that is, Jesus, when you come into your kingdom, would you remember me? How much more simple could the request have been? Would you remember me? That one small step of faith in the face of being backed into a corner, nowhere else to go. That one small step of faith on behalf of this bandit caused Jesus to say, today, you will be with me in paradise. How much more could God's love be demonstrated for a fallen mankind, for evil people, in that the very evil that was being perpetrated against God? Jesus said, Father, forgive them. And to the one who came and said, please remember me, today you will be with me in paradise. What greater love has the Father got? What more could he do? You know, I'm reminded of a story. Brennan Manning, some of you may be familiar with Brennan Manning, who was a Catholic priest who was a teacher, and he left the priesthood and was married, but he became a very, very prolific Bible teacher, especially in the 80s and 90s. Brennan Manning was in the Army in his early years, and he was in Vietnam in the war, and he had signed up on the buddy system. Somehow he got his best friend that he had grown up with, they joined together, and they ended up serving together. And I believe it might have been during the Tet Offensive in Vietnam, where they were crouched down in a ditch together, and they began talking about what they were going to do when they got home, when they finally got finished with this thing and when it was over with. And in the midst of their conversation, a hand grenade comes into their ditch and lands between them. Brendan sat there, stunned, frozen by fear. He says that his friend smiled at him, threw himself over on the grenade, and it blew up. And it killed him. But Brendan Manning just had injuries that he recovered from. But his friend was dead. Years later, Brennan went to visit his friend's mother. And she was a New York Irish lady. And he sat with her and they talked about the good times and the loss of her son. And he said sometime during the conversation that afternoon, he said, he called her mom. He said, you know, Mom, I often wonder if Barry really loved me. And his mother said, oh, Brennan, stop it. You're silly. You know he loves you. You know he loved you. And Brennan said, I don't know. You know how doubts come into your mind. Sometimes I just wonder. At that point, the mother became angry. And she looked at him. And she said to him, my God, man, what more could he have done? What more could he have done for you? Gave his life. He said that stuck with him all of the years. And he realized that that's what God says to us. What more? What more could I have done for you? I came. I became one of you. I became like you. I subjected myself to everything you're subjected to, even death. I subjected myself to everything. I know what you feel. I know your fear. I know your hurt. I know your lack of forgiveness. I know your existence. And I faced your worst enemy, your death. And I died for you. And I rose again. And now I give you freely salvation if you will simply accept it. What more could I do? In the Psalms this morning, you saw a verse, Psalm 46:11, which should be the culmination of all of this, where God says to his people, be still and know that I am God. The literal translation from the Hebrew there is cease to strive. Cease to strive and know that I am God. I'll be exalted among the nations. I'll be exalted in the earth. How many of you have reached a point, maybe many times in your life, where you just say, can't go any further. I can't do any more. My resources are worn completely out. I have sickness in my body. I've experienced loss of family and loved ones. I just can't do it anymore, God. I can't go any more of my own power. And that's when Jesus looks at us and says, what more could I have done for you? I've done everything. Stop striving and know that I am God, not you. I am God. You have heartache. I'll be the balm for your heartache. You have sickness. I'll bring you health. You have injury. I'll bring healing. You have doubts. I have certainty. You have fear. I have confidence. Paul said to Timothy, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of sound mind, of strength. We sang just now, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, every fear is gone. I know he holds my life, my future in his hand. We begin Advent next week. time when we celebrate the first coming of Jesus, when we look for his coming again. In between those two events, there's a whole world load of misery out there for us. But we don't have to fall under it. We don't have to subject ourselves to it. Yeah, things are going to happen. Things are going to come. There'll be problems in our life. There'll be sickness. There'll be loss. But still, Jesus says, because I live, you'll live too. Because I live, you can face tomorrow. Because I live, you can be still and know that I am God. You can let your fears be washed away. And in the midst of all the uncertainty of life, in the midst of everything that comes at us, in the midst of all of the heartache and the sickness and death that comes in this world, you can be still. You can cease striving. Because when all else fails, I live. And because I live, you live. God's mercy is great. His love is greater. And his life is the greatest of all. That's what he gives to each and every one of us. So I say all this morning to encourage you, as we enter into Advent, to encourage you to look at our salvation. To look at the great gift that he has given us. To look at your side and see that he is there. Regardless of what is happening in your life, he is there. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. And as we studied in the 6th chapter of John, our Bible study this week, Jesus says, he who comes to me, I will in no way cast out. His promises are sure. His life is real. And our future is certain. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.